Don't trust yourself. What if I tell you that trusting yourself will only bring you to destruction? The world constantly tells you, believe in yourself. Trust your heart. Follow your feelings. It sounds encouraging. It sounds empowering. But what if I told you that this advice can actually lead you away from the truth? What if believing in yourself is the very thing keeping you trapped? Today I want to share one of the greatest truths I have ever learned. A truth that completely changed the way I see my own mind. Very few people understand this. Yet it has the power to bring real peace. So why do I say you shouldn't trust yourself? Take a moment to think about your own mind. Every single day, thousands of thoughts pass through it. Some thoughts encourage you. Some remind you of God's goodness. But how many thoughts make you feel guilty? How many tell you that you're not good enough? How many fill you with fear, anxiety, shame, jealousy, anger, or hopelessness? If every thought came from you, why do so many of them work against you? When I was in school, there was a huge sign in one of the classrooms that said, "Believe in yourself." Almost everyone accepts this message without questioning it. The world repeats it so often that we assume it must be true. But the Bible teaches something completely different. The problem isn't that we think. The problem is that we believe every thought that enters our minds. We assume, if I thought it, it must be true. But that's not true at all. Not every thought deserves your trust. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every thought even belongs to you. Many people suffer because they never learned to examine their thoughts. They welcome every negative voice as if it were their own. They think every fearful thought is reality. Every condemning thought becomes their identity. Every anxious thought becomes their future. But the Bible shows us that there is a spiritual battle taking place. The enemy is called the father of lies. Because his goal is to deceive people, he plants lies, accusations, fear, condemnation, and doubt, so that people will believe them and live under their control. Once you believe those lies, your emotions begin to follow them. That's why so many people live in constant anxiety, depression, guilt, or fear. They aren't just experiencing emotions. They are believing thoughts that were never worth trusting in the first place. This is why the Bible tells us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. God never tells us to trust ourselves because He knows our understanding is limited. Our feelings change from one moment to the next. Our opinions change. Our emotions rise and fall depending on our circumstances. One day you feel confident. The next day you feel like a failure. One day you think everyone loves you. The next day you think everyone is against you. If you build your life on your feelings, your life will constantly rise and fall with your emotions. But God's wisdom never changes. His word remains true whether you feel strong or weak, whether you feel forgiven or guilty, whether life is going well or falling apart. That is why God calls us to trust Him instead of ourselves. Many people believe in themselves because they don't truly know themselves. They assume every thought that enters their mind represents who they are. But the Bible teaches us to test what we hear and compare it with God's truth. The question is no longer, what do I think? The better question is, what does God say? That one question can completely change your life. Imagine learning how to reject every condemning thought. Imagine refusing to believe every fearful voice. Imagine replacing every lie with God's truth. That is where peace begins. You don't need to stop thinking. You need to stop believing every thought. The greatest freedom is not having a quiet mind. The greatest freedom is knowing which voice is worth believing. Don't trust yourself. Don't trust your changing emotions. Don't trust every thought that enters your mind. Trust the one whose word never changes.